Hi, this is Chrissy Incognito, and welcome to another episode of my show. Now, you might be wondering why I'm incognito. This is my alter ego that can say things that I cannot otherwise say unless I was incognito. So, thank you for returning. In order to understand more about this episode, view the previous episode. Happy listening. Hi, and welcome back. It's been a while since I've videoed, and I think something sort of exciting is going on in my life. Um, so I talked about how I was made fun of because I was ugly and everything like that in the previous episodes. Now, I was ugly, but I was always thin. Okay. So I believe I'm kind of naturally thin. Um, so I don't think I have genetics so much working against me. So so I'm 5 feet, and the heaviest I've ever been was 175. Okay, and that was obviously not taking care of myself and just eating everything in sight. And part of it had to do with depression. It had nothing to do with Greg. This was way before I ever met Greg. Then somewhere I when I met Greg, I was 140. So I had lost weight from the 175 to the 140. Now I was with Greg for 5 years, and it took me 2 years to lose the weight. It was more the stress from my job than anything else, because he used to go to the gym with me. He used to, support me. He used to all of these kind of things. So when I was dating Greg, I went from about 140 to about 112. Okay. And then I I plat I kind of evened out. My body probably said that that was too thin, even though really for my height, that's what I should be. I hovered when I was with Greg about 118, 122, and I stayed that for 2 years. Now, I continued to exercise, and I wasn't overly careful with what I ate, but I was very much, um, I said no a lot more times than I did when I was 175 pounds. Okay, so I did monitor it, and we were exercising, and I was very conscious that if I ate, I was going to gain weight, and I didn't starve myself or anything. So it wasn't one of those type of situations. Then when Greg and I broke up, we had the breakup. I probably went from like around 115, 118, about 108. Okay. Which is still not low for my height, but that's when the doctor became concerned because I just kept getting like, I kept shrinking, right? Because I wasn't eating. And he was more concerned about me not eating and losing weight than he was about the weight itself. Okay. So then through the years of trying to kind of get on with my life, I developed an alcohol problem to kind of replace Greg. And it did replace Greg. And I told my doctor that it's very comforting. I get very excited after work to know that I get to go home and be alone with my drinks. And it just provided a real comfort. So that is what made me gain weight. It was I probably drank about a bottle and a half of wine every other day. Um, which is excessive, right? Like if you have a glass or two every day, not a big deal. But I was having like a bottle and a half at times every day. And it was a really hard road because not only did it become my friend, but it got me sick and it did not stop me. So I went, about when I was 130, is when I started to drink. So I went from 130, to now my present weight, which is 160, which is obese um, for my height. Okay, so to bring you up to speed, everybody knows about these weight loss medications, drugs, whatever, injections. And I'm always skeptical about things like that. I'm kind of like I Am Legend. So from what I remember about the movie, because it was such a long time ago, is that there was a proposed cure for cancer, all cancers, right? You took the shot and you were immune from any cancers. The problem was is that it what did it turn them all to zombies or something like that? It was not the answer that they wanted, right? And there's two movies. There's an older movie, but then most of you know probably with Will Smith, and he refused to take it. He saw he's like this is not this is not the answer. Um, there was a reason why. I forget what it was, but he was the one that warned everybody, and nobody listened, and everybody was like, this is heaven sent. We must take it." So I kind of feel or felt like that with the injectables. But the people at my work, now I probably work with roughly just in my office. Obviously, we have like 700 employees within the whole complex. But I probably work with about 25 people, maybe 30 because we're understaffed. And I would say that one, two, three, four, five people in my office have taken it. And you know that they've taken it because there's a rapid weight loss. Now, I'm not looking for anything rapid. I don't think anything rapid is good. Um, but I really saw that it worked. Okay. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Right before Landon passed, which was September 2021, I went on a diet. Okay. And I probably lost about 20 pounds, if not, 18 pounds, whatever it was. And I was still drinking at the time, but I was rebounding, which I'll put a picture of a rebounder here so you guys know what I'm talking about. And I would do that in the morning, and I would stop at the liquor store, and I would come home, and I would rebound, and I would sweat and do a awesome cardio workout. Then I would drink. And even though I was drinking, because my activity level was so high, because I was doing, and then I walk about 10,000 steps a day. So it was the 10,000 steps plus the two times a day rebounding. And I loved it. It was great. And I was stupid for ever stopping that because it got me down to like 132, which is a beautiful weight, and it did it really fast. I did obviously watch what I ate, but I didn't starve myself. Okay, so rewind to present day. I try to do that now. Now, this is the beginning of 2025. That was 2021. Well, my knees don't like it. Now, I don't have any problem with my knees. But I know my weight is contributing to my knees. So I could go back on the rebound, but after I do, it's like a week or two of sore knees. And I could push through that. That's not what I care about. I care about that I'm doing damage. That is not really good. And a huge part has to do with my weight. So I tried to do that again and it just didn't work. My knees were, I guess, worse or very sensitive to that. So somewhere in there, So when I lost the weight, I ordered an elliptical, a big, beautiful, I'm still paying off elliptical because I knew that as much as I want to go to the gym, it's not realistic. Like right now, it's cold out, it's rainy. Who the hell wants to leave their house? Okay. Now I have been using it because the elliptical is very soft on my knees. It does not hurt. And I can go my own speed and I can again do it twice a day. So I'm committed to exercising. And again, I still walk about 100 and I'm sorry, I still walk about 10,000 steps a day. Okay. Um and that's what I clocked for like over a year when I was wearing the watch, you know. And I did it not for, oh, look, it's technology. I did it because I wanted to know first of all, I wanted to know how my sleep was, and then I wanted to approximately know how many steps I was doing. So, okay. Yeah, the watch did not like when I would drink. It would say high stress. So, my doctor's aware of my alcohol problem. I am put on a medication. I don't know how to pronounce these names, but I'll put the medication's name in here so you know what I'm talking about. So this medication, um, I did take a medication that curbed my desire for it, but it had so many side effects that I couldn't do it. Like it was like not pooping or I think I had like deadly gas that I could not be in the room with another human being and it be okay. Something like that. It just, I couldn't even get through to see if it went away because it was a horrendous, horrendous smell. And I get, if I'm at home, it's fine. So I went off of it and I tried another one and I had a reaction. It did help. It did help. One of the medications that I used to curb my alcohol desire actually increased my appetite in a way that I knew it was the medication. So I did not have any desire to drink, but I was like, "Oh my God, I got to get to Wendy's right now. I need a big, thick, juicy cheeseburger." And at first I thought, Okay, maybe it's my period. Maybe as soon as I stopped taking it, that desire went away. It was like I became I had so much inner hunger, and I wasn't hungry, but I had such a desire for, like, food that I was like, "Well, this isn't one of the reasons that I don't wanna drink is because I'm gaining weight." You know? Now, I'm not drinking, but now I'm eating because it's affecting me that way. So I couldn't do that. So I did the name that you see down here. I just can't pronounce it. And, so what happens is if you take this medication and you drink, you will become violently ill. And the thought of throwing up and yeah, it's really bad. I can't explain how bad it would be. Basically, you would feel like you were dying. Like if you looked at all what somebody experiences between the heart um going crazy and the throwing up and the nausea and the lightheadedness and you violently throw up. You get very sick because the medication. So right now, if you drink alcohol, you can metabolize it, right? I mean, if you just drink and not go crazy, but you won't get sick, right? You'll just have it. It'll go through your body. You'll pee it out or poop it, whichever one or both, and nothing really happens, right? You don't get violently ill. Well, this medication makes your body unable to metabolize the alcohol. So now the alcohol turns into a poison and your body reacts as if you are being poisoned. So you cannot drink when you're on this medicine. And so I thought that that was really the only answer for me. I know I can't drink on it, so I don't. Do not drink. And if I drink, I have to come off of it for a good 5 days, and then I can drink. So it's not something that I can, like, stop in the morning and drink by night. I can't even drink the next day. I literally have to let the medicine get out of my system, and then I can drink. Now, I started to go off of it because I had an event that I wanted to drink at, and I must have not waited long enough. I may have waited 3 days until instead of the 4 or 5, and I felt it. It was not nearly as bad as if that medicine was fully in my system. I I didn't know what was happening because I knew it wasn't alcohol related. It was just very, very weird. I had to go immediately lay down in the car. I felt like not only had I been drinking, and so I had all that buzz going on, but then whatever this was doing to my body, it was scary. It was scary. And it was just a little effect from, you know, having some of that in my system. And when I went to go drive, it affected my driving. It wasn't so much the alcohol. The mixture of the 2 affected my driving. I was like, I've driven after, yeah, I shouldn't say this, after a few drinks, and I've never felt like this before. Okay, so let's get back on course. So I have a problem. I talked to my psychiatrist about it. He knows. I'm very upfront. I tell him that um I use the medicine, but then I come off if I have like an event or, some kind of party or something. And then I go back on. Okay. So it really forces me to behave. Now, okay. So I can't do the rebounder, and I have what's called food chatter. It's the new word. So what happens is that when you decrease your eating in order for you to lose weight or eat sensibly, your body just like is constantly like food, 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 because it doesn't understand that the shit's got to come off your body. It just wants to maintain it, as everybody knows. And that's just basically you become fixated and obsessed, and you can't get food out of your mind or out of your head. And it really is counterproductive for dieting, right? Because you're just thinking about, should I eat? What should I eat? When should I eat? Um, it's just, as everybody knows, it's a constant battle. And being thin my entire life for the most part, except having um episodes of whatever, weight gain, I never really had that food chatter in my head. Um, so I saw everybody losing weight. Now, is it a vanity thing? Sure. Why not? Right? Everybody feels better about themselves when they look better, right? And I'm not very proud of what I look like now, my weight. So, and it's a downer. It's a real downer. Um, so I read a lot about it and I listened to podcasts, and this is not an endorsement for or against it. This is just my journey with the process. So I asked my friend, it's just obvious that these people are taking the medication. It was like nothing, 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 a little bit of weight, and then it was like boom. It was like, and that's what happened when I used the rebounder. It was melting off of me because I was just always on it. I liked it. I was feeling better. I was losing weight, so I continued to be on it. And but it's just not an option right now because I tried a couple of times, and I know I'm going to really hurt my knees if I continue, and then I'm not going to be able to do anything. Okay. And so I talked to my friend about it and everything like that. Okay, so present time. I had to go for a physical. It was time for blood work. Um, I did the Cologuard. I had to tell them about that. Everything, thank goodness, was fine. Um, there was I saw a vein doctor because I have varicose veins. Now that does run in the family. Um, but it's made worse by my weight, and I can't get around that if I keep the weight on. So I have to get a procedure, um, and I'll talk about that in another thing, but my legs are fine. It's just because of the varicose veins. I kind of need procedure to like open them up, so to speak, because it's not getting the proper blood flow, but thank goodness it's not due to a bigger issue. It's due to the varicose veins. It's very common when you have this. Um, so I knew that that's an issue. Okay. So I went and I told her, like, we went through all the physical stuff, and then at the end I said I want to try Wegovy because that's what my friend is on. And she started to talk about it, and so forth and so on. And she said, "You know what? I my clients, my patients have found better results on Zepbound because they tolerated it better. They had a better. It wasn't about weight gain. It was about the side effects. That if you know anything about these injectables, they have side effects, which any drug does. But so I did everything. And that's another thing. A shortage, right? There's a shortage of these medicines and insurance companies don't always pay for it. And I decided if the insurance company will not pay for it, I will take a loan out and I will do this for, a year at least to get the weight off. Um, but it was covered. So she goes, before I call it in, you have to make sure that it's covered. Because a lot of the insurance companies have not covered it. Now, my friend, who obviously has the same insurance as me because we both work at the same place, said it's covered. But she also has a lot of health, like in addition to her weight, she has a lot of health problems. Um, and thank goodness I don't. And even though my BMI was at like 30 or 31, something like that, and you had to be over 30, which it should make me qualify. I read sometimes the insurance companies want to see other things wrong with you. So they can justify. Okay. So I was like, listen, I really want to help myself. I really want to